Hi, this section I wanted to go through some form tips to help you maximize your results. Within this series of mindful movement, it's all about maximizing muscle activation. So by going through these form pointers, you'll be able to put more mindful focus on each exercise, because I can only give so much reminders, but if you tune in to the muscle activation, you will get greater full fiber activation, which just helps your body drop and use more glucose, more fat as fuel. You'll get greater tension, so you get muscle density instead of muscle bulk, which gives you that inch loss, sculpt away those inches in that whole area, which tends to fluff out during hormonal imbalance. Everything works better with full fiber muscle activation. And we're going to do it multiple muscles at the same time, layer by layer. That's why all of these moves are done in a certain sequence. So let's just go through. First one, the stance. Tendency is the body always takes path of least resistance. So check for a mitten hand between your feet. You'll notice that your body will tend to go further apart. Just tune into the difference. One mitten hand apart, shift your knees out over ankles. When you're bent and you're tucked in, that's tailbone tucked under, belly button to spine, ribs are up and knees are out. When the knees go out, you'll feel the activation through your abs. It also gives you full fiber from the knee to hip and also the knee to ankle. So you're optimizing mind to muscle all the way down your body. Now take a slight step out. So when you're more to the shoulder, a little bit further apart, just tune in to what you feel. Bend it, tuck it, lift it, knees out. Now feel how the knees out, you feel a greater activation from the knee to ankle, less from the knee to hip, and obviously much less from the abdominal area. So now go back to the narrower, one mitten hand, closer so you can get better ab activation and lower back. Bend it, tuck it, ribs up, knees are out. Tune in, feel that, more activation at that hip, underneath the glutes, transverse abdominis, full abs, lower back, knee to ankle. Now tune in if you really want to maximize. Once you get more advanced, lift the toes in your shoes. That's what I call jazz toes. You lift the toes, spread them apart, your little toe is down and your ball joint of your big toe is down. So now feel the arch lift. See, I can't really show that because it's hidden within your body. That's the power of mindful movement. Maximizing muscle activation helps you maximize brain to body, mind to muscle, nerve transmission. I call it neurokinetic flow. Okay, relax on that. So that's done throughout on your stance. Then when we get into those shoulder trap, when we're warming up, most of us are trap dominant, especially as we age, tension, it all kind of gathers up on us. So when we're hunching, that's a reverse trigger. It should feel good. But when you're hunching, your knees should be softly bent so that you can curl that core. Let your shoulders go ahead and tilt. It's okay. We just want to really reach up. Now, when I'm doing that, I'm doing a series of hand movements. Why? I want to get that nerve transmission down the arms. So we do a hunch curl. Knees are out, jazz your toes. And then it's a lift ribs, release. So when you're lifting ribs, you're focusing to think muscle activation to lift. You already got a release. So lift, and your arms reaching down is just a relax the arms, lift the ribs. It's not a reach down yet till you turn the thumb back. So hunching, relax, lift ribs though. You should feel those lats right here. Hunching, jazz. And then we did a fold finger. Whenever I say fold finger, we want knuckles back and thumbs are stretching. That will give you more muscle activation on the back of your hands, greater lymphatic circulation. Everything in this workout is about lymphatic circulation and elimination. We want to optimize that function for your body. So, hunching up, fold fingers, stretch the thumbs, reaching down. When you go further back, that takes time to get strength and flexibility. Just make sure your elbows are straight. On the curls, spinal curls and pushing, it's all about leverage activation of your thumbs against your knees. When you're down into this position, think about weight shifting back in the heels. If you have problematic knees, always focus to put more weight back into the heels. Dragging down in here, the pushing out is activating tummy, back muscles, especially the lats. So we are hunching on here. Now remember, in the instructional, you learn to curl tuck. When you get to the top, the knees shift over ankles. Pushing keeps the muscle activation through the abs, through the back, and especially the lats. It's all about the lats. So you're hunching, okay? You want that stretch release, pushing at the same time. Push those thumbs as your shoulders come down. Think ribs up. Push those thumbs as you come up. Never release the thumbs. And then push the thumbs as you press and arch up. Always stretch for the thing. So I will always be pushing the thumbs. I may not always say it, but you have to tune in to do that. And notice how much the heart rate automatically comes up. When lats activate with ribs up, you actually enhance cardio. So you're going to get greater VO2 output. You're going to get greater healthy heart function as well. It's all about posture. I call it the power of posture. Everything's about lats, activating lats. Okay, going into the reaching out. Okay, remember after we curled and pushed, we flipped. Now with the jazz stretching, jazz toes as well, and knees are out, weight is in the heels. As you reach, you really want to hunch and reach out. Now watch as I come down, it's no bent elbow. You want to think ribs up. Now using lats to curl, not elbows. Lats, then roll up. Keep jazz, jazz, elbows. Now think about the lats, ribs up, curl the core right there, ribs up all the way, then the shoulder roll. Okay, all these little kicks throughout the workout. Kick, kick, and we're doing it with a mitten hand away. Mitten hand away, you really want to focus to stretch the fingers, not just flat, not just flat. Stretch the thumb, stretch the fingers. Your fingers all the way on your own flexibility. Increase that lymphatic, increase that nerve transmission, and when you reach down, you'll literally feel your ribs go up higher, and you'll feel the lact activation. You'll find your personal, I call it the V position. Too high, you can't get the lats. Too close, you don't get muscle activation balance. There's a moderate flow, you tune in, feel it, and when you get that V, you'll get full activation and balance between your traps and the lats. And most of us are that trap dominant, so we need to reach out. However, when we go through shoulder rolls, I talk about it briefly, about not reaching up and down. Going down enhances trap activation. So then you're going to get more of the traps versus the lats. So we do it with the jazz hand. You hunch, curl that tailbone, make sure belly button's to the spine. Then it's literally a shift back and then rib up, square. Now notice I can still go down, but I don't want down. I want up, back, square. You'll get a full activation between your shoulder blades. That area between your back is where your thoracic duct of the lymphatic system is. When you get a balanced activation between, you're going to get much more balance through your lats and your traps, which is going to optimize your lymphatic elimination and activation for the circulation. Everything tunes into the metabolic system. It's just helping your body help itself maximize its metabolic function, and that's what we want to do, right? Especially when we're trying to get healthy hormones, hormone balance, or get through menopause. Okay, going on through, we get into the plie sequences. On the plie sequence, you want to tune in that you have knee to ankle in alignment. Everything's about alignment. So toes are equally turned out, knees are over ankles. This whole pushing to the knee little toe, towards your little toe, is to create activation here. When your tailbone is tucked under, okay, and you're pushing out, you'll get greater activation through here, greater tummy, greater lower back, and you can feel it all the way down. You'll slim those areas of concern. Tune into your upper body. When we're at these positions, act like your arms are being pulled away. We tune those thumbs back. When we're reaching, it's not just extending. When you're reaching away, it's not only that you feel your ribs up and lats, you should feel your triceps. Reaching away, ribs up. Feel that? You should feel those triceps. This really works those triceps, and you won't have that underarm hang. So as you're reaching up, knees are out. Then you reach away. And then as you go down, you go ribs up, reach down. Now think sludge. Sludge up, reaching away. And that's going to make so much of a difference through all of that. So when I'm saying reach away, it's ribs up, reach away, keep the tuck, keep the knees out to little toe. I know it's a lot to think of, but that's why it's mindful movement that makes the big difference. T-tap twist. When you get into T-tap twist, it's all about isolation, like I say, in the instructional, of keeping your hips forward as much as you can while we get our upper body to turn as much as we can, so that we can target that lower area, tailbone, groin, all of that lymphatic, as well as those muscle fibers to cinch in. So again, shorter the stance, and when we're here, we do a few claps. All of these claps aren't just nice and easy. Yes, that feels good. But every time you clap, you're getting a lymphatic release, so you don't get that inflammation building up. But notice when you go all the way back, see how the ribs went up? All the way back. Now tune into your triceps. All the way back. Feel it right through here. You want to go all the way back, folding the fingers like you're against a wall. So at home, practice with your hands like this. Go right against a wall, think belly button to the spine, press that into the wall, hand, hand, press your fingers into the wall, shoulders, that, now tighten the glutes, knees are out on the outside edges of your feet. That's what you want each time. Clap to the wall, clap to the wall, clap to the wall, and get that alignment. Then you can do it each time. If you do that, you're going to feel your heart rate get up. You'll be a lot more aerobic, a lot more fat burning within the workout, but you'll also trim those triceps. So that clapping is doing a double duty. When we have our arm up, I say extend the knuckles. That's so you can get that activation, elimination on the back of your hand, and you're stretching the thumb. You're tucked and you're lifted. I'm having you push the knuckles. Elbow focus is always to the shoulder. Don't let it go down. You'll create unequal muscle activation in your back. You'll lessen the results, but you could increase a little bit more of strain in your back, and you don't want to do that. Opposite knee out is to help you keep that hip forward, tighten the glutes so that you can keep that locked into place as best as you can. So you're pushing, but don't just think about pushing your knuckles, think about ribs up to activate the lats. You want all those muscles along the spine as you're stretching. You won't be able to stretch as far. Remember, it's not how far you stretch, it's how much you can do to your best ability. And then those big inhale, exhales is helping you to increase the strength and flexibility, but is also acting as a lymphatic pumping. Okay, so as you're there and you push, don't let your wrist all go discombobulated. You want to keep it as tight as a unit as you can. From here, you do that big inhale, but you're pushing. Keep the pushing, keep ribs up, keep it tucked in, knees out. Everything else. Now, the same thing as you're going to the back, if you can only go 3/4, that's okay. I'd rather do that than to see this. As soon as that knee goes in, you inactivate and you untuck. Better to keep the tuck and do to your best ability. Now, another thing is on those oil wells. Hand out, hand on top. Pressing against each other. That's also to get the ribs up and to activate the lats. So knees are out, your toes are forward, you're tucked. Push, that's the power. Push, and the ribs go up in activation. Go ahead and hunch as you reach out, knees are out, you're still there. And then you come in, think tuck, curl, push, and the ribs come up and the shoulders just shift back. Out for two, push, lift. Out for two, belly button to spine. Now, when you do that to the front and we're reaching between the knees, it's really important about the lower body alignment. Your heels should be aligned with your shoulders. It can be slightly more, but if you go too far, the knees can't get out. So I always say, check your house. Heel aligned with shoulder joint, and some of us are more broad-shouldered than others, so don't look at mine, look at your own shoulders. When you tilt forward, knees go out. Roof to the knee to the ankle is the wall. So even though that looks a little narrow, I know it's getting greater activation in my belly and back, and that's what I'm aiming for. You can go a little bit more, but when you go so far that the knee can't go out, that creates knee strain, muscle imbalance. It's not helping you get less results, and you actually can get certain muscles stronger than others, and that's counterproductive. So have it to where your knee is over the ankle, you have your house. We're doing the same thing as we're reaching through, but the tendency, the form tip is let the head relax. The tendency is wanting to look and never releasing that head. Relaxing the head allows your cervical, the neck vertebrae, to elongate. And the problem as we get older is we start to get shorter because our vertebrae start to compress. So it's like reverse gravitational pull, it's a release, and as we're reaching, pushing, shoulders come back. So it's a pulse. 2, keep the tummy tight. Release, keep the head down. Relax the head, let it pulse. Then pull the shoulders back. Curling, pushing, like we said, leverage activation. Now above the head, don't arch out. That's totally what it wants to do. Keep it tucked. It's just a pulse, like you're against a wall, little lymphatic pulse. That's all that is. So doing those kicks, remember, kicks get away. Anytime you feel like you need to kick away, go ahead, but reach while you kick. Reach with the ribs up. Then when you're pointing, always tune into point as you lift. You'll feel more tummy. Point as you lift and point as you lift. Reaching down with ribs up. Relax, feel nothing. Feel it more, feel it more. It's like a little tuck with a point. Every little move has mindful movement woven in. You can increase the intensity. Now, last of all is hoedowns. On hoedowns, there's a little bit of a cross your meridian. Our brain is very left-right. Left side works the right, Other side works the opposite side. So when I'm doing this movement of lifting and touching is very lymphatic, but your body is thinking, let's go ahead and get into stance. You're bent, you're tucked, your lifted knees are out, our hands are up, we're shifted over and we're touching. Now think about it. This side of my brain is saying, keep your knee bent, keep the tailbone tucked. Both of them are saying, tuck it, keep the knee bent, keep it out. This side of the brain is going, lift and touch, lift and touch. So at the same time, both sides of your brain are actively giving stimulus for all of this movement. Your hands, not just here, you want to pull them back. Well, get the ribs up, more lat activation, keep the tuck is going to raise your heart rate that much more. Now, everything's fine till we go to the jazz. As soon as that knee goes out and the hand comes to the front, it starts to confuse the body till you get neurokinetically aware of where your body is in space. And it comes, just do your best. The jazz increases the nerve stimulus. Keep your thumb stretching on that other. As you lift and touch, gradually you'll get to where you can go further back. It's okay in the beginning here, but then you'll get to where you can go further back with that knee and further out with this knee. So, for instance, this is beginning. That's good. Increase out, out. See that knee out. See how I'm pushing the knee at the same time and keeping the tuck. Notice my heart rate just by pushing those knees out even more. Repetitively on the singles, you're going to get a little bit discombobulated again. That's okay. You'll get there. Just get the movement first, then get to where you increase the intensity, but keep the ribs up. Don't come forward each time. That inactivates power of posture. Everything moving within this workout is about mindful movement to maximize muscle activation, which is going to maximize lymphatic circulation and elimination, all of which helps you get healthy hormones and a better body regardless of age, not just menopause management.